Anna Sorokin, known to the world as Anna Delvey, was no ordinary woman. She was a master of illusion, enchanting everyone around her with tales of unimaginable wealth and privilege. To her inner circle, she embodied high society's allure, luxury personified. But behind the designer clothes and glittering events, Anna was crafting something far darker, a web of lies, meticulously designed to sustain a life she never truly had. With her charm and cunning, she slipped into the elite inch by inch until one fateful day when her carefully built world began to crumble. Today, we'll unravel the story of Anna Sorokin, a story so compelling and twisted it could easily be mistaken for fiction. A Fateful Encounter with Michael Shufu Huang. One evening, under the dim lights of a lively gathering, Anna crossed paths with Michael Shufu Huang, a celebrated art collector and founder of a prestigious museum. Accustomed to the elite, Michael was instantly captivated by Anna's effortless glamour and magnetic presence. She seemed to exude an aura that suggested she belonged in his world of privilege and artistry. They struck up an easy rapport, and soon Anna proposed an adventure together, a trip to explore art and culture in some distant city. With a charismatic charm, Anna persuaded Michael to handle the trip's expenses, assuring him that she would repay every cent. Yet as the journey unfolded, Michael noticed an odd detail that seemed almost anachronistic. Anna insisted on paying for nearly everything in cash, avoiding the cards and digital transactions that defined their world. Their trip concluded, but her promise of reimbursement lingered unfulfilled. Weeks slipped by, and each passing day left Michael with a peculiar, nagging question. Was Anna's delay merely a symptom of a busy, wealthy lifestyle, a moment of oversight? Or was it something more intentional, a carefully orchestrated mystery? The initial fascination took on a darker hue, leaving Michael to wonder, was this a simple lapse or an intricately woven deception, building a false narrative? As Anna's confidence in her own mystique grew, so did the ambition of her performance. She began crafting an elaborate story that positioned her as a visionary, on the brink of launching a prestigious foundation bearing her name, an institution that would cement her as an influential force. She left no detail unattended. She hired a creative director, leased a prime office space in a coveted part of town, and spoke casually of exclusive meetings and projects that would soon change the art world. Occasionally, she'd hint at anonymous backers, wealthy, connected people who believed in her vision and were willing to keep their support discreet. Whenever someone inquired too closely about her funding, Anna smoothly explained that her assets were tied up in foreign investments, restrained by bureaucratic holdups. This explanation worked, as it aligned with the picture she painted of a jet-setting woman of means. To outsiders, her foundation sounded like the next big thing, but beneath the glamorous facade, things were becoming tenuous. Little cracks began appearing in the surface, like hairline fractures in glass, barely noticeable at first, but growing more pronounced with every interaction. The $30,000 hotel incident. The first major test of Anna's crafted narrative came with a hotel bill that had climbed far higher than anyone had anticipated. Over the course of her stay, Anna's expenses had accumulated to over $30,000, a sum now past due. The hotel manager, noticing the amount still unpaid, reached out to Neff, a staff member who had grown close to Anna during her stay. The manager asked Neff to check in with Anna about the balance, hoping to nudge her towards payment. Neff, however, already harbored her own suspicions. Just a few days earlier, she had witnessed Anna attempt to pay for dinner with an array of credit cards, each one systematically declined. To Neff, it had seemed odd. A woman of Anna's supposed wealth, rifling through her wallet, unable to produce a single working card. She wondered, if Anna couldn't cover a single meal, how would she possibly settle an enormous hotel bill? Neff's concerns grew as Anna deflected questions, offering the same rehearsed story about frozen assets and banking delays. The hotel's final warning. As the hotel's patience wore thin, Anna found her options dwindling. Her smooth excuses, once enough to buy her time, were losing their power. When a bank transfer finally appeared, the wary hotel staff refused to accept it without a valid credit card. With no way to stall further, Anna's carefully crafted facade began to crack. In a desperate attempt to escape, Anna fled to Morocco with her personal trainer, leaving her mounting debts behind. But even abroad, her illusion of luxury started to unravel. Her trainer, forced to cover every expense, soon realized the truth. Anna had no money, just empty promises. Then came the final blow. The hotel issued an ultimatum. Unless Anna paid her $60,000 balance, she would face legal consequences and likely arrest. With her once glamorous life spiraling out of control, Anna stood on the brink, with nowhere left to hide. The unraveling of the lie, the illusion of wealth Anna had so carefully built was unraveling. Her once unlimited credit had evaporated, and the lavish lifestyle she'd flaunted was gone. Reduced to crashing on the couches of friends she'd deceived, the polished, enigmatic persona she'd cultivated now seemed like a distant memory. Each bank rejection and bounced payment chipped away at her facade, exposing the harsh reality beneath the glitz. Her friends, once charmed by her, began to see through the lies. As her connections dwindled, the glamorous life she had faked vanished, leaving behind a desperate woman tangled in her own deceptions. Confrontation with her inner circle. As Anna's web of lies unraveled, her friends, who had once believed her, confronted her. No longer willing to overlook the growing inconsistencies in her stories, they expected some sign of guilt or remorse. Instead, they found a woman resolute in her fantasy, insisting she would soon repay them with funds from a business venture they had grown to suspect didn't exist. When they pressed further, revealing the office space she'd claimed as her own had long been rented out, Anna's response was chilling. She denied it outright, maintaining her calm as though her illusions were more real than the truth. It was clear she had become lost in her own deception, refusing to acknowledge the widening cracks in her carefully constructed world, the arrest and legal struggles. With her world of deception laid bare, it was only a matter of time before the law caught up with Anna. She was arrested for her outstanding debts, her carefully cultivated image now reduced to a booking photo in the tabloids. But even here, her defiance endured. Though she managed to post bail, her freedom was brief. Days later, Anna was arrested again in California, this time returned to New York to face the full weight of her charges. Her dream life, woven so meticulously from lies and manipulations, had finally collapsed. Now, the world was watching as Anna Sorokin's high society charade was dismantled piece by piece in court, every illusion stripped away with each appearance, revealing not an heiress, but a fraud. The truth about Anna Sorokin. As the dust settled, the truth about Anna Sorokin finally came to light. She wasn't a European heiress, nor a child of privilege as she had led so many to believe. She was the daughter of a working-class family from Russia, her entire persona an elaborate fiction. The girl who once dreamed of glamour and wealth had transformed herself into a master of deceit, crafting an empire built solely on borrowed time and borrowed money. She had constructed a world so carefully, so convincingly, that even she had begun to believe in it. But the lie was too heavy to sustain, and ultimately, it was her own invention that led to her downfall. The trial and plea negotiations. As Anna stood trial, the choice before her was stark: a plea deal offering 3 years in prison, or a full trial where she could attempt to defend her illusions one last time. True to form, Anna declined the plea. She chose to stand by the reality she had created, a world in which she believed she could somehow still emerge triumphant. Her lawyer, grasping at any thread that might sway the jury, described Anna's view of jail as a social experiment, alluding to her fascination with observing the lives of others so different from her own. Anna, ever brazen, boasted about her supposed connections, insisting that she could be free with a single call. But the courtroom saw through her bravado. The legacy of Anna Sorokin. Although Anna's story may sound like fiction, it is entirely true. Her rise to fame, built on deception, and her eventual fall from grace, captivated the public's attention. Now, her life is being turned into a series, a testament to how an illusion can deceive the world, but ultimately lead to a dramatic downfall.